Convergence has been out for weeks now, and signs of an early meta are starting to show themselves.
Jason takes us through his experience at the Jackal Hunt, and we look at the archetypes that are commonly reappearing.
This is episode 129, the early Convergence meta.
You have been well trained.
No. You don't have to carry a sword to be powerful.
I won't fail you.
Or do not.
I'm not afraid.
Please don't try.
So we're back for another week of the Chance Cube. I don't know why Kim keeps coming back, but she does.
I do. It's a sickness.
It's the next diagnosable illness, the Breeze syndrome.
Yeah, and I apologize.
Uncontrollably coming back to do podcasts.
It's fun, even when I apologize now if I'm sniffly. I've been fighting allergies and whatnot for about a week, and it has not been a pretty experience. So, at least this week and that last week, you got me with a voice. At one point in time, I sounded kind of like a 12-year-old little boy about to get a deeper voice. It's better now than what it was, but it was going. Yeah. By Wednesday, even by the end of our show, by Wednesday, it was almost a whisper. So Jim was blessed with a quiet house for a couple of days.
And our thoughts go out to Mr. Mike Hill, who is not with us tonight due to unforeseen family events.
Yeah.
Related to his puppy dog. So we'll see.
I hope his puppy dog's okay.
We hope his puppy dog is okay. And we're also going to have a guest, but due to unforeseen events, our guest has also not with us, but we'll come next week.
So you have us.
So you got us. Sorry. But
and I left him downstairs. We can talk about your cool news first, but I can't then talk about mine if I say you can talk about yours first.
Okay. I was just going to mention how so there was always the running joke on the show for anybody who's listened to the show since at least before Way of the Forest, right? That I would get, I think since Empire War, me and Sarah have purchased 2 cases of every set. So we had opened 12 boxes of boosters in an effort to get 2 play sets because we were both playing pretty actively all the time. And then we had a child, and children are expensive.
You're not going to create her own playset too? I don't understand why.
Well, Sarah's not playing as much right now. She is allowing me to play more while she cares for the child. So even though the binders are set up to store 2 play sets right now, we're only getting 1, or at least we're only really aiming for 1. And I've only gotten maybe 50 packs of Convergence. So it's odd to go to a local tournament where our house at House Rules where I play as often as my schedule allows, which is not often enough. We always snake draft our prizes. So based on how many people come to play, boosters get put in the prize pool. He opens them all up, and based on the rare that we see or the legendary, and your placing, you get to pick your prize. So it's nice to actually snake draft and actually need stuff.
Yeah.
The last time I went, I got a Mega Blaster Trooper.
I need another one of those.
No, you don't.
I only have 1. Yes, I do. I only have 1. I need 2.
No.
I also need another. I need another Phasma, and I need her twirly stick.
I really want to. I think we talked about this. I really want to pair I really want to get a pair of Ventress. 2 Ventresses.
I have 1. I'll trade you a Ventress for a Mega Blaster Trooper. I don't think that's a fair trade.
Check the Price Watch app and see if that valuation is.
That might be highway robbery.
I
will keep a lookout though. If I get any of those, because sometimes on our Wednesday nights, we get we'll get a pack if we win, that kind of thing. Except I just keep opening Dengar. I have 4 of that guy now. I don't need 4 of him.
Nah, not really. I think Ventress
so if I get some more Ventress.
I mean, they would seem designed together. It's kind of like when Ventress and the old Ventress and the old Quinlan were designed to be played together.
Yeah, they were just too squishy.
Yeah, and now Ventress and Dengar. If you want to create a bounty hunter deck, that's the way to go. I want to try it. I know it's not going to be competitive, but who cares?
Yeah, I ended up with all the Dengar things. I have his ship, I have his blade, I have him. But I haven't built a deck with him yet.
Yeah, that's fine. It's all good. You had some news you were going to tell me. I'm excited.
We got, for those of you who may have saw our giveaway with Parker Simpson artwork, I have those really cool Watto cards in hand now.
Ooh, fun.
They look pretty cool.
Did you send me a picture of one that I can hold my phone up to the screen and show people?
No, they're downstairs.
Didn't you send me a picture though?
Oh, maybe I did. I think I did. So you still have time. If you were not one of the 3 lucky winners to win a copy, you still have time. You can head over to our Patreon. And those $5.
Yeah.
There may be an additional gift in there for you for those of you who support its $5 level.
Yeah. There they are.
He's
They're
pretty
in
cool.
your hand. They're pretty cool. I dig it. I can't wait to get mine. If Kim will part ways with one.
I suppose I can.
I mean, I appreciate it. You only have like
Once
90.
I have 90 of them.
Anything else exciting?
Oh, cool. Vindicator won one of those. That's awesome, dude.
Yay. Congrats.
It'll be going out in the mail here pretty soon.
Anything else exciting before we jump into the news?
Monk says he has an extra Ventress.
Well, he has 1 extra Ventress. Well, let's start. Thanks, Monk. We might have to talk later.
I know.
Are you good then? Are we going? Shall we
Was there anything else cool? Was there anything else cool that happened this week?
In personal life? I mean, I'm trying to rent out an entire movie theater for Rise of Skywalker.
I'm trying to get extra Southwest miles so I can come down there when you do that.
I have the contract in my email. I'm serious. I'm getting real close.
That's awesome, man. Did you guys see? Is anybody following? This is somewhat news related. It's somewhat Star Wars related. And then we can move on. But all the stuff coming to that Disney Plus service, and that's coming out like this fall.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be like $6.99, which is pretty close to half the cost of Netflix now, because Netflix just raised their prices. And I'm super excited for Jon Favreau's Mandalorian. I love that guy.
So yeah, and we can talk about my.
I was reminded how much I liked him in Avengers Endgame, which we won't talk about. But
I also want to do the podcast mini-series Mochas with Mandalorians and get.
Oh, that would be fun.
So
we
may have a side project.
You can. I will totally be on board for that. I don't know why, but Jon Favreau is like the coolest freaking guy to me, and I don't know what it is about him. I just watched the Friends episodes that he was in.
Uh-huh.
I love that guy, and I don't know why.
He's pretty cool. He and Dave
I think he
Filoni
should
on
be my
stage
friend.
together were awesome. I don't know if you saw their panel.
I have not watched all the Mandalorian panel. I watched
Those two together.
the Clone Wars panel. That was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched so there's another season of Clone Wars coming to Disney as well. There's so much good stuff coming to that.
When that service comes out, I'll most likely be ditching cable and just going streaming altogether.
We completely stream now, but we stream through PlayStation View.
Yes. Well.
And because I still need my HBO for the last season of Game of Thrones.
Well, yeah, I'll be cutting HBO when that happens too. I'm gonna lose a lot.
You only got like 3 more episodes.
I know, right? Boy, we could have a whole pop culture.
I know.
About
last weekend was rough for me, man. Between Game of Thrones and Endgame, I had a rough weekend.
Anyways, I'm gonna hit the news.
Moving on.
Let me take that back, huh? You'll find what you need.
So we've got a bit of Chance Cube news today we're going to start with, and then we'll jump into Destiny news altogether. Kim sort of alluded to this, but if you are either new to the channel or have been supporting for a while but haven't checked it out recently, we do have a Patreon. We've had one since pretty early on. We've recently kind of rethought the way we've done that, and we do have the Chance Cube Hangout. It's our Facebook group that we give access to our $1 Patreons. It's a very casual group. We have a lot of fun. I tell everybody every time I lose, which is pretty regularly. At our $5 level, we've altered it recently. We're going to start sending a thank you gift that we are saying will inspire your casual gameplay. Parker Simpson's Watto, the full art Watto that he made for us exclusively, will be given out this month, and we hope to do more stuff like that. As we go on. And then we also have a $15 level that we're going to start looking at tokens and some other things that we're brewing in the back of my brain, because Kim's brain is brewing on other things that we'll talk about in like 3 months. Also, if you...
Dun, dun, dun.
I know, it's scary.
If that wasn't a what do you call those? A teaser.
That was a teaser.
Tickler, perhaps.
Also, Price Watch version 2.2 is live on the iOS App Store. $2.99, same price as been. So if you've got it, please update it. If you don't have it, it's just the price of a pack of cards. We just added a top 25 list, so you can quickly see the top 25 most valued cards that are in the booster packs. And then we've added a new store. Pastime Comics and Games has contacted us and wanted to be included. So they are now included on both the website version and the iOS version. If you don't have iOS, obviously our Price Watch is still available on our website, thechanceCube.com/PriceWatch. Check that out if you don't know about it. We've been doing it probably since like week 2 of the Chance Cube, so pretty much since the game came out. And we're happy to upgrade our technology a little bit. So that's the Chance Cube.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's some great upgrades for that in the works. So it looks good.
Thank you. So I saw a post, and I want to know if it's a thing. Did you see Klaus was talking about France and distribution changes and the sky is falling? And
well, it's Asmodee being Asmodee. It sounded like from the comments. So it does not sound like all hope is lost. But it was Asmodee announcing some distribution concerns for France and Belgium, if I remember the post correctly.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
If not, I bet somebody in the chat also saw it and they'll correct me. But it already looks like the community is not willing to let... I mean, they just had a very large, 36 or plus or so Galactic Qualifier or event.
Oh, yeah, and Milton Keys or whatever.
Yeah, so the community is alive and well there. So they're hoping that this is just... It's going to be shipped to them from Asmodee UK instead, I think is what I saw. And if not, it actually sounds like the community is working together to make sure that those areas still continue to get product. Now,
sure.
I think the only issue, though, is that it may not be printed in that language. Yeah, which
not
is
localized.
Which I think is crazy, but
no.
If FFG is listening, you should not take away this game from your fans. It's called shooting yourself in the foot, is what that is called.
6 booster packs worth of cards in German. Does that count? I'll go send those somewhere because I don't need them.
Can't read them.
Can't read them.
I can read. I took France. Yeah, I took the whole country. I took French a long time ago in high school, and I could read it about I could read it about a 3rd grade level in French. So maybe I could. English not so good either. Apparently.
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh man, but yeah. So I hope that they get that worked out because I think that's I'm going to use the word anyway. I think it's ridiculous that you would have an active community and then just go, nah, we're not going to put product here anymore.
Right. No, I agree.
I mean, you've got 3 more sets coming out. You can't tell me that you're not making money on these.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason maybe you still have some product that you're selling discounted on Amazon is because you were too late bringing it to the party.
Right.
That's what I think. Like, you didn't have it when we needed it, so once we finally all got it and printed a bunch of extra, well, that's on you. It's not on the communities.
Speaking of party, I think we got a little bit of a surprise today when FFG talked about their streaming. And I have to say, I know they've gone through some changes over at Organized Play and on their PR side. I think just overall, their community outreach is shifting. I think we all saw Matt Holland got a new job.
Responsibilities, something to the
effect. We're not
effect.
really sure what it means. It sounds very much like he's doing the same thing he did before with a different title, but I could be totally wrong. I know he was the events coordinator for a long time, so he'd show up at all the conventions and outreach stuff, and now it sounds like he's doing more like direct community outreach or more organized play involvement and how that impacts the people as a whole.
Then I would address your concerns to Matt Holland about removing product from France and Belgium.
But that all being said, I also really like that FFG has been doing this regular streaming thing. I know it's only like once a week, and their coverage of certain games has been interesting. Like
what they're choosing to because like Destiny's been kind of few and far between lately. I saw on that list that they were going to do like a painting thing for Legion, which I thought was kind of cool if you're into that. I already have a really good painting guy here at the house, so I don't need to watch that. But if anybody else is interested, I think that would be kind of cool. But yeah, it's a little. Whoops, my apologies. Noisy stuff. I wish they do Destiny more regularly because people still would like to, even if you're not showing me new content. Like they still could have done draft stuff. They still could have done They still could have been more than one streaming instance of one particular Destiny product.
Instead of because they did the draft and they showed so many cards and they did the starter decks, right? Those are the two big Destiny things they had.
Mm-hmm.
They would really benefit from who cares if they... yes, we as content creators love it when they send spoilers out. It gives us 3 seconds of fame before the next person releases spoilers,
or until they spoil it in Poland. But whatever. Right.
Either way, but I think they would warrant themselves. They could do a stream, one stream a month for the next set, and just be like, "Here's the 3 cards I'm going to tell you about," and people would clamor over that stuff.
Or make it go hand in hand with an article that they just released. If they just released that Spark of Hope article, cool. Then I'll showcase it on your stream.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
But I like that. I get it. FFG has a lot of product. I know that they don't just make Star Wars Destiny. I'm well aware of that. Unfortunately, they've gotten a lot of my money in board games over the years. Even some that I forget that they make are on my shelves. So, and they've got more. They've got that new Outer Rim Star Wars game that I hope to take a look at Origins. They've got a Lord of the Rings game.
Why is Monk saying number 1 multiple times in this chat?
Because I'm number 1. Oh, because I'm that smart. No, I don't know which one of us he's
probably talking to himself. He's like Donald Duck.
He's saying preach, and I like it.
Okay, fair enough.
But, so I get it. I really want them to not treat Destiny like a redheaded stepchild, and I don't know that we're past that yet. It's better.
Do you think because Destiny, sells so well, they feel like they need to look at their other stuff more often? I don't know. Maybe I don't know what the sales of Destiny are right now compared to their other games.
No, and I don't know how hot. I don't know how hot Legend of the Five Rings are. I never got into it, and I don't know how big it is I honestly don't know. It was kind of big in my local scene, but I don't know that it still is. So I don't know if that's why they're pumping it up, but it just... Even when they've made convention appearances. Now, I think they picked that up because I think they were showing Destiny at Celebration this year. I'm curious to see if they show it at Essen, which is the world's the largest board game convention over in Germany. And I think it needs to have if it's selling well, you should still showcase it. You shouldn't just go, well, that's okay, and stick it back here on a shelf and forget about it.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's the design team or even the organized play people that are necessarily the ones in charge of that. That's probably higher up at Asmodee and FFG deciding, we don't need to talk about that. Let's get our new stuff out in front of people. So let's get people buying Legion. Let's get people buying this Outer Rims game. Mm-hmm. I don't know when that officially releases. Maybe in the fall. Yeah, and I do agree with Impulse 411. I was very surprised to see current product that's still in standard being sold on Amazon for $25 a box.
Yeah.
So that tells me, I don't know, it hints that they still haven't figured out production because now they have too much of what they didn't have enough of before.
Better problem, but still a problem. Because you don't want
to. Because how long were we going through a drought? And now it makes sense if they were selling off stuff from the Awakenings batch at $25. I kind of get that. It's cycled out. It's not as prominent. But it does add some. When you're deep discounting a product like that, you can't help but go, When you're, Plaid Hat Games had, they struggled to support a CCG game called Ashes: Rise of the Phoenixborn, which was a gorgeous game that had a dice dynamic to it, kind of like Destiny does. Not exactly the same, but they both have dice. That's probably where the similarity ends. And they just stopped supporting it. They just announced that a week or two ago. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know.
You know what? We got on a tangent because the whole point of this segment was to say that, hey, they're going to have a Destiny announcement at the end of the month.
I know, and Kim got on her soapbox again.
It's fine.
My apologies.
That's all good. It was very, very relevant.
I think it's a valid concern, though. And could you ever straight up ask somebody from FFG if they were on our show that question? No, probably not. PR is going to go, you're not asking them that, and that question's wiped from the table. Jeremy always talks about up to 10. They have up to set 10 designed. I've never heard him say set 11.
Oh,
that's all I'm saying.
Oh, God. Be still my beating heart. Anyways, they did say, if you look at their live stream schedule, I think May 28th?
May 28th?
May 28th, we both believe that's what it says. There's going to be an announcement.
Oh, look.
A Destiny and X-Wing combined announcement about Worlds. We know the Worlds is going to be in Q4. They actually said they're going to release the dates, which is something that everybody's been asking for, especially those who have tickets and seats already guaranteed. Because Worlds is now, 7 or 8 months delayed from what it normally is, because it's normally in May, and now it's going to be at least 6 months delayed. So that's
May 28th.
A year and a half worth of GQ winners, 2 rounds of nationals and continentals are sitting on seats for Worlds. So
so it's May 28th. It's the X-Wing and Star Wars Destiny Worlds 2019 reveal.
Dun, dun, dun.
That'll be on at 1 p.m. Central Time. Mm-hmm. I did see them announce, too, that the organized play said X-Wing would be the... I don't know enough about X-Wing. Extended version, maybe? Is that what they said? Something like that. So there was a little hint from that about that it was... But I think that matches what they're playing in their version of GQs and that kind of stuff. I'm not enough into X-Wing to know all the stuff.
Tag Pet says yes, extended. So congratulations on using the right terminology.
Woohoo! I was gonna say, if I'm wrong, Filippo will message me in 2 days, correct? Sure that he will.
So we'll see.
Because he does. Yeah, I'm excited to see that, just so we know. Just so we have an answer. I'm anxiously waiting. Right. I'm anxiously awaiting to see if... So I think Cascade's GQ calendar stops right before Origins, which is the middle of June. So I'm hearing hints and stuff that there's going to be a GQ at Origins. Originally that wasn't on the calendar, but we'll see.
Cool. I'm excited.
So if there is, then I'll stop by and say howdy do and get some coverage on that. And if not, then I'll find plenty of other things to do at Origins.
That's right. Cool. Well, shall we get into the meat and potatoes of the show?
Well, you mean my soapbox wasn't the meat and potatoes of the show?
Well, people are going to probably turn off now because you've done your exciting part. But you know what? We've got more to cover.
That's right. You know, Mike, I just can't seem to get the cards I need in the booster packs I bought. I'm still missing a Mother Talzin, a Darth Maul, and I need some more battle droids. That 5-wide droid deck isn't going to build itself, and I have all these extra Yodas.
Seriously, Kim, I told you, check out Armada Games. You can buy and sell Destiny cards on their website, shoparmada.com. It's just a few simple clicks and bam, you are done. I used it just the other day, and now I got 2 Maul Sabers heading my way.
Hey, what are you guys talking about? We're in the middle of a break here.
Jason, you know how you've got all those extra cards from all those booster boxes you open? Mike says you can sell them online super easy.
No way, seriously? How? I've got to make room before this next set comes out.
Jason, whether you're new to the game or a seasoned vet, Armada Games has just what you're looking for. You can buy and sell your Destiny singles all from the comfort of your living room. Pre-order the latest sets of boosters and find the droids you are looking for. You can also check out their selection of Destiny accessories. And you'll get free shipping on orders over $75. For an even better deal, be sure to use the coupon code TheChanceCube and receive 5% off your Destiny purchase. Visit their website at shoparmada.com. Armada Games. Get in here and game.
But you know what I always say. Speak softly and drive a big tank.
So as we mentioned in the title of the show, we are going to focus a little bit today on the early Convergence meta. I will start by saying that I did go to the Jackal Hunt, and that's probably the last time I'll mention it on the show, because I think we said it every week since we had them on.
It looked like they had a good event. Like,
it was good.
Stuff and saw some of the coverage that day because I knew they streamed some of it too, and I saw you in a few pictures that they.
Yeah, back when they were taking pictures of the top tables when I was there on the first round because that's how the roulette.
Hey man, it's all that matters. You were there. I saw the back of your shirt at one point in time too, and another.
Oh yeah,
picture.
when I was at the very last table, yeah, that one. Oh, that's good.
That's usually where I am too.
No, it was
how
great.
many? About how many people were there?
So they had to cap the event at 18 tables, 36 players.
Nice.
So I walked into the store. So Breakpoint TCG is in a city called Mount Dora. It's about 30 minutes north of Orlando. 30, 35, 40 minutes.
Nice.
And I think I was talking to you on the way, right? And I was like driving through a blueberry festival. It was the end game. I was like, what a great weekend. There's like so much stuff going on. But
did you stop? Did you get some blueberries while you were down there? I mean,
they slowed me down. I was running late. I walked in like they're like, "Oh, you're here, good." I was like, "Whew, almost missed it."
Your blueberry people were blocking my path.
They were. And I walked into the store, realized that me and Sarah had been there before. We actually went there for a Spirit of Rebellion pre-release event.
Oh,
back
cool.
when the game was struggling with product. Speaking of the time, when that was the only event that still had like space. Like we had to pre-register and everything, get space for it.
Oh,
it was,
wow!
You know, so it was cool. I mean, it was cool. It's a little shop. Like the fact that we were in there, they were having to pull tables out of who knows where, and then they still had to have like half a dozen seats open for whatever Magic thing was this last weekend too.
Oh, there was a right. I think there was a Magic release. I mean, tell you what, Magic turns out product significant. I feel like it's all the time that there's a pre-release for them.
Yeah.
But
so
some people move their events because of Magic. Yeah.
So it was cool. So here's my my perspective on the Jackal Hunt. I thoroughly love the event. I think it's definitely worth my time to go, right?
Cool.
I mean, I had a lot of fun. I did not go with the intention of winning at all, because it's the second time I ever played since Ray was born. So it's been a while. And I took the same deck I took to my local, so I knew it wasn't competitive. So there was some great players there, right? So Andrew Cox, the Nationals winner, is kind of local to the area, so he was there. A couple of the strong players from my area of town. There was someone who was like in town he was on vacation from Colorado or maybe
nice.
North. I don't know. He's like, and I didn't know about this until I heard them on. He heard our show that had one of the Jackal on it. So he found out about the event. So like, it was a cool turnout to see a bunch of people.
That's fun.
There was a mixture of play levels, right? And then there was the whole like Jackal concept. So like they were doing raffles all day. You get raffle tickets, and I think all the money was donated to charity. We put in some play mats. I'm pretty much sure every content creator had something in the prize pool, as well as a lot of the accessory manufacturers for Destiny. It was great. In terms of turnout, in terms of coverage, in terms of the way it was run, it was run very smoothly. Nice. There were never any questions about when rounds started. And
nice.
On that same token, right? It was an event that wasn't winning. It wasn't paramount. It wasn't like we were playing for world seats or thousands of dollars. Like, it was playing for some product and some accessories, and that was it. I do believe Andrew Cox took the win. I think so. I left when they cut the top 8 because it was already getting late for me. And here's what I found out interesting about it, and I think it's worth some discussion in the future on similar type events. There were two kind of layers to the event. There was this was one of the first kind of larger tournaments that feature Convergence and the post rotation here stateside. We also have, when we talk about the budding meta, we also have Milton Keynes in Europe that also had a GQ this past weekend. So both of those together kind of started to settle in what's new and what's coming up with the set. But then there was the kind of Hunt the Jackals portion of the tournament, right? So of the 36 players, I believe 6 of them were from Jackalman Games, and they were all playing Bounty Hunter decks. So they were each one of them was a different Bounty Hunter persona.
Oh, cool.
Which means that some of them weren't playing non-standard decks, because I did play the gentleman that brought Boba Jango.
Yeah.
And he had 6, aside from Jango, he had 6 other standard cards in his deck. So I had to, he was forthright in saying he had bait and switch, he had X8s, and there was one other pair of yellow events that he had. So I knew kind of what I was looking out for. So there was this kind of, and for me, there was a conflict of, here's the Jackals playing these decks that are non-standard, and then here's the standard. And who's going to win out on that? So it's not a great gauge, but then again, most of the bounty hunter decks weren't, top of the line. They couldn't really hold up. They were great from a theming perspective. They couldn't hold up against the standard decks that were winning. The event. So in that case, I guess you can say both of them could coexist well. And there was a wide.
It's a neat concept. Yeah,
it was fun. I'd almost want to recommend, like, if they wanted to add some sort of, face the Jackals component, because I think their criteria was you had to beat 3 Jackals in the day, and the first one to do that got a special prize.
Oh, okay.
But the likelihood of you facing 3 of them,
if there's only 6 of them there,
was kind of low. So, and Impulse 4-1 has the exact same thing I was thinking of. It'd be great if you took the Jackals out of the event and basically had like a staff challenge type style thing, right? You line them all up and say, have some sort of side event or something. That would be great to do during the top cuts if you had the space. Now, if they stick with the store, there is a community center next door. I don't know if they could pour over into it.
Maybe.
Or if they're not tied to the store, could they go somewhere else? So I think for a first run out, it was a great event. I know we've done 2 events out at Worlds ourselves, and we know how much work that is to get all that stuff together.
Oh, yeah. So I commend them just for, like, from that standpoint, we know how much work that takes. So that's off to them for putting it together.
Yeah. So it was, there's always learnings. But for a first round out, I think it was probably the most successful non-store run event. It's probably the most successful kind of, like, I don't know what you call it. Yeah, it's like a tier level of, it's like a non-standard, non-OP style event. And I'll come up with a better name for that next time, because we're going to talk about that on the next time we're on the show. These fan created these, whether it's a content creator or a local, Destiny champion in the area who comes together and puts these things. We know there was the one up in there's the Kappa Cup up north. There's the one in Texas we're going to talk about next week. There's several of these, like, high profile events that are fan generated, that are not supported by OP, that end up really making a mark on the community, and they're really important, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think they're very important. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. Community run event sounds great. That sounds like a great term. I want to elevate. I think community run event seems, I don't know. I want to elevate.
Doesn't give it the credit that it's due.
I feel like it needs a more elevated term. Someone who's got a thesaurus go for it. Anyways, so something came out.
Sometimes, sometimes they put more effort into it than the other groups do.
So between the International GQ at Milton Keynes and the Jackal Hunt, we do see there is some archetypes that are arising through Convergence and the post-rotation meta, and what's popular out there, right? I think it goes without saying that the idea of armored reinforcement is going to be a linchpin for a lot of people in their competitive decks. Finding a great pairing of characters, add that with armored reinforcement as a plot, bring out a powerful vehicle. I did play in round 1 someone who brought the Falcon out, so it was a hero version of armored reinforcement, and used the Falcon as a money generator, not as the damage dealer. So that was interesting. And the Falcon, between Astromechs and L3, and crazy and the escape pod, right? Falcon gets several activations, create tons of money, and then use that money to bring in more supports that do the damage. That was an interesting idea. I think we've seen it with the fire spray. Is still a big, powerful one. Armored reinforcement's not going anywhere. And I think that's driving a lot of people who know that's coming to start looking at Vandalize as like an auto include if you're playing yellow.
Yeah.
I saw someone who
I'll add
played.
that to my deck.
I saw someone who played a 6-die start. I think for the sole purpose of being able to vandalize falcons.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It just feels slow to me. Like, and maybe that's just my local meta, because I think I've only seen a couple of vehicle decks come out locally, and they're significantly slower than a trooper deck per se.
If you go wide on the vehicles, they definitely do. I think these fat vehicles, as we talked about this on the Hangout a little bit, where you have one vehicle that's loaded up with mods, is not necessarily slow, but
Yeah.
once if that vehicle ever gets toasted, then you're screwed. And I think
That's true.
That's why
Yeah.
people are playing Vandalize, because if you're not playing one of these decks, if you can vandalize that vehicle early on.
Yeah.
So
you're saying I should put a Vandalize in my deck?
I'm saying you should put Vandalize in your deck. Now, if you only start with 4 dice, you can only discard supports that are 4 costs and up, because it has to be character dice. If you're thinking about it. So, I mean, look at those. Look at those cards that can get rid of supports. There aren't many that can get rid of high cost supports, but Vandalize is one of them, based on the number of character die you bring to the table. And
interesting.
For those decks, like those trooper decks that bring additional first order stormtrooper die in, those are technically character die, I think.
Interesting.
So that could, but Vandalize is only hero. Am I relying on that? Vandalize is neutral or hero?
I don't know.
Someone's going to tell me in the chat in about 5 seconds when the delay catches up to them.
Maybe it is hero.
So
I only have the Convergence binder up here, so.
Yes. The other, with very few exceptions, support decks are the reigning champs right now.
No, they're saying neutral. They're saying Vandalize is neutral.
Yes. Anybody can Vandalize. Great.
Seems fair.
Isn't it funny how we've gone from supports being nothing to supports being everything?
Mm-hmm.
The big, I don't want to say big reveal, right? But the deck that is the deck to come out of the the development pipeline of some of the big competitive groups. Snoke Watto First Order Stormtrooper is getting a lot of attention right now. It is the newest iteration in a long line of rainbow villain builds, right? Going all the way back to Knights, Sister Nines. What was the yellow character? Do you remember? Balatik.
Yeah.
Back in the Spirit of Rebellion meta, that was the first 3-wide villain deck that was the one. And since then, I think everybody's wanted to continue to look at that idea, the idea that you can have all 3 colors represented and play the best cards from each of those colors. And now that we have Mega Blaster Trooper, Vader's Fist, and Entourage, a big powerhouse for each of those colors, you use Snoke and Watto to generate money left and right, and use First Order Stormtrooper to soak up damage. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Phew.
So watch out for those two. And I'm not even sure how to stop. Like, once that deck gets started, it's hard to stop.
Yeah.
You can't Vandalize fast enough.
I'm trying to think who you would want to go for first.
Right? I mean, it's a toss-up between Snoke and Watto.
Right.
But the removal
because
package...
Watto's getting your money. Yeah.
Yeah, you get rid of Snoke first, and then you can't Snoke the First Order Stormtrooper. If you get rid of Watto first, then your financial generation slows down, but can you get rid of Watto fast enough? That's the question. You've got to be faster in that deck, and it's just... I don't
have enough of those cool cards.
I nuked down round 2 with Palp Watto, Force Storm round 3 at the Jackal Hunt. Yeah, there were a couple of Jackal Hunt. I know Andrew Cox played one. And he obviously won with it. And there was another one. There was another one floating around that felt like it was maybe his first time out with it.
Oh,
if you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
You can take a really powerful deck and put it in anyone's hands, and they can do okay with it. But until you like get some plays behind it, you may not be as strong with it.
Yeah, I came out and bombed with a trooper deck that was built perfectly fine, but I didn't build it, so I didn't know what I was looking for, and I didn't have enough time to really go through it beforehand.
So if you're out there looking at the meta, I mean, these 3 wides are definitely where it's at. After Grievous and someone.
I keep seeing with droids, but...
Well, yeah, I mean, Grievous brings in droids. After Grievous as a pairing is a great droid synergy. We've seen Sentinel Messenger, which is a blue droid.
Yeah.
So you can get a rainbow droid build. Sentinel Messenger
That's a deck I've looked at. Yeah.
He's the only blue droid out there. That's a character and a villain. Wat Tambor has been coming into the scene recently with his ability to... oh, gosh. What does he do? The Sentinel Messenger pulls things, and Wat Tambor allows you to play supports and roll their die to the pool or something. Stupid.
I think so.
So
I don't think I have him.
17 activations off of a stupid thing. And then you can go the other direction. You can say, forget you guys, forget supports, forget everything, and I'm just going to play Palpatine.
Which is really what Jason wants to do.
I do, but I don't have him at all.
I don't either.
Not the new one.
I have not gotten him out of a box at all. Even when I was having I went on a wild streak there that I was buying like 1 or 2 packs and getting a legendary and every one of them, but he was not one of the ones I got.
I would love. So Palpatine often being paired with Watto right now as the kind of leading the meta in terms of what that pairing does. Watto creating the money, Palpatine being Palpatine.
Mm-hmm.
Hard, I think not hard. He's got to be played right because he is, in the realm of 2 character pairings. You either have a big little or you have a middle, and those are fun to say because they rhyme.
Middle. You're saying my deck's not middle. It's not. Kidding.
Palpatine tends to be classified as a big little because Watto is not your damage. He's a support character. But Palpatine only has 10 health initially. So you've got to either mitigate fast or get your upgrades down fast in order to, gain increase his health value, and then get him out there, and then and back to therapy is kind of the new rise again. What?
I just when you put it all together in my head, it was funny.
Oh,
so you had to go back to therapy. It's a whole other thing that, like, my brain went wee with that one.
Oh man.
I don't know why that was so funny to me, but it was.
So Palpatine Watto kind of may be the Vader Greedo of the day, right? When everything lines up well, can be a force to be reckoned with. But if it doesn't line up well, or it doesn't get going fast enough, then Palpatine can easily bite the dust, and then Watto can't do anything by himself.
No,
half the force abilities can't be played on him, so you're stuck with Watto and a Palpatine saber maybe.
Wait.
Mind tricks don't work.
He's
on me.
flying around.
I do love Watto. I need to play him just for
put his eye out with that thing.
So, I mean, there's not been much else that's really kind of creeped into the top.
No, it's taken some time for some stuff, and I like that because I don't want the same 3 decks at the top, and that's all I see when I go somewhere, and that's not as much fun for me.
I mean, and hopefully we find, or we don't find that the Snoke Watto First Order Stormtrooper is going to be like the deck we see everywhere. I mean, it's gonna be pretty popular.
Yeah,
but we have seen recently some pretty good success from some up and coming decks. I know there's various 2 character builds that people are experimenting with. Rex and Cascameron. I think it's Phasma and Pietz out there, and then of course Padme, Leia,
and Leia.
That one is interesting. The new Leia Bosch with the new Padme. Kind of an interesting idea.
Didn't I say? Well. I feel like I posted on Your Destiny post something like that, and I think I said, please say we're calling that deck Mommy Dearest, but I can't remember if that's...
That's weird. Sessions is... Well, no.
I only have one Padme. I have the right... I only have one Padme. I don't have the right. I'm just missing all the... Like, everything that's popular happens... Most of the cards I'm missing from the other two
all the
sets.
cards. I mean, even the cards, you're like, man, that'd be a cool thing to try, even if you know it's not going to be great, you know?
Yeah, I did go pick up a couple of Rex, because I really wanted to do a Rex Ahsoka deck.
That's a fun thing.
So I bit the bullet and bought a couple of those a week or so ago.
Cool. That's awesome.
I should have waited, but
I mean, I'm excited to see this develop, right? I mean, of course, the like Hyperloops in your Destiny, ABG Gaming, Jackalman, those groups that are higher on the like competitive team aspect, they kind of use the collective minds of the Borg and to create better decks, and you will be assimilated and all that stuff. We're gonna see more of those.
You've been watching too much Star Trek at night, buddy.
Well, now that Ray's sleeping in her crib, I don't watch Star Trek at night anymore.
As long as it's the Next Generation, that's
Chance
fine.
Cube stuff. But there's more. There's plenty more to be found in the set, and people are really just experimenting with the current characters too. Like, have you noticed, like, the characters that are not from this set are characters we haven't seen played in a while?
Yeah,
which is interesting. I mean, Snoke and Yoda aside, like to go
Afra didn't.
To go back to Rex, Afra kind of took a back seat for a little while and is now back in the forefront again.
Yeah, she never really fully got her. I mean, she was doing okay, but she never really. There wasn't enough stuff. Now, I think with that droid subtype and stuff like that, that certainly gives her a lot more stuff to play with.
Subtypes are oh man, how interesting it is that those subtypes. How big of an effect they seem to have.
I don't want to have to wrap my brain around it, so I'm that's the printed on it. I'm like, I don't want to dig back into that yet. Like, I'm just gonna go with what I know.
That's funny. So anything out there you're like worried about? You think's gonna be? I still think Troopers, a Trooper deck has I think that's gonna get fine tuned. It can move pretty quick if somebody hits the right stuff. Between Phasma's ability and the Mega Blaster Trooper's ability, you can get an awful lot of dice on the table. That even if you have a deck with good mitigation, you don't have enough. There's too many die. So unless you have that dodge in there that's going to remove everything. And who plays block and dodge? I play block and dodge because I don't play anything that good players play. You know what? Dodge right there. But hey, there is something satisfying about. Oh, it is the best feeling ever when you're like, "Hi, yeah, I'm gonna need you to take all those dice off the table." Oh, it's like there's a vein that sort of pops out on your opponent's head, and they kind of grip the table like they want to chuck it. It may not be the most strategically advantageous card in all situations. However, when it is played, it is played to great delight of the player. Oh, yes. Yeah, not the person getting it, but the player. I agree with Impulse saying that now that I played Leia Bouche, I think she's silent. I'm waiting. There's something out there because her ability is really good. Her dice sides are really good. You get to include 5 yellow villain cards. She's 11 health, which is decent. I didn't hit her special the first game that I played. I didn't hit it at all. The second game, I hit it on both of her die. At the same time. So it was deal 2 damage to each of an opponent's characters unless they give you 1 resource. Or 2 resources instead. If you spot a villain character, they didn't have any resources. So I hit him at the perfect time, and I hit him back to back. I know you could Crime Lord Leia, but I haven't been able to get anything with her enough to generate enough money. Because I thought about putting Crime Lord in that deck. Leia, but Leia, I can't pay enough to get I put Darksaber in it because she's at elite. She's 16, so you get a +1 your Darksaber damage. That's pretty fun to get out. So it's definitely, I mean, there's a lot of room still. It's still early, I think. Yeah, Yoda Leia had was rising up at the end of the last meta, and now I think is being retweaked for the new one, I think will definitely have a longer lasting stay this time around than the last time.
Yeah, anything you can do to be able to get her special out is helpful. Because either you're getting money that you need because you need the money to get other stuff out, or you're dealing 2 damage to each of their characters, which is
right. Especially in the new we're getting back into a 3-wide meta again. So
yep, yeah. When I hit it, my opponent had 3 wide, so I hit for 6 damage twice, which was very pretty.
So when those 17 Ewok decks come against you,
yeah,
it'll just take a couple specials to wipe out the
can't hit them. And that's what. And so looking at her, like she needs paired with somebody that either has focus or you have something in there that lets you use her special, and then and then that 5 villain. I just keep going back to their old villain cards. That I wish I had those to put in here. Mm-hmm. None of those got reprinted.
Well, anyway,
sad panda.
It's been fun watching it. Like I said, the Jackal Hunt was great. I heard lots of good things come out of the GQ and Milton Keynes as well. So huge shout out to the Jackals for putting that event together.
They did a good job.
They really did showcase some of the best in the meta right now, especially locally, and had an event that was worth people coming to who maybe weren't locals who happened to be in town. And I think someone in the raffle walked away with a Spot Gloss Vader. So,
nice.
Actually, I think it was my buddy from the local store too. Good stuff. I love it. And I hope
That's
they do.
cool.
I will, if I'm around, I will go again next year.
Well, that is pretty good because you could totally catch people who happen to be vacationing down in Oregon. Yeah, I mean, if it's that close.
We are the vacation capital of the world, or at least one of them.
But that's also getting them to have their significant other stay.
True story.
Like you're gonna leave me here with all these kids in this heat, and you're gonna go do what? I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, shall we jump into our review our question and answers?
Show us.
There can be no mistakes this time.
So last week, what do you hope to see in Star Wars Destiny after all the Star Wars goodness revealed at Celebration? Because Jason and I were super stoked. Mike too. We're super stoked about all the good stuff coming out of Celebration. We've been talking about it a little bit earlier in the show. So I think you guys kind of were too. Hopefully. Like, we talked about TV shows and stuff like that. But Mike Torres said, I hope to see release dates well in advance. That's cute. Spoiler reveals that allow the current set to breathe first and more cards featuring Mr. Genuine Class himself, Sir Alec Guinness. Oh. Which I think is I really do think that's an outstanding answer. And I think that's what a lot of us want to see. I just don't know that we're ever going to see it. But that would be awesome. I'm always on board for more Sir Alec Guinness, too.
Seth Taylor says, I want to know what Jeremy has been teasing as the something big coming in set 10. I'm still standing beside the Death Star.
I'm telling you, we wrote that down. We said it was a thing.
The multi-card Death Star.
Last interview. I think it could be a thing. Mm-hmm. Like, you heard it here first, people. I just want you to remember that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Jason Peterson, I'm hoping for a campaign set, where you simulate going on missions for the rebellion, culminating an attack on the Death Star, which rolls an oversized 12-sided die. That's freaking awesome.
Can we have an entire set where the die are different, or like all D10s instead of D6s?
I have enough of those to go around for almost every, because I have a dice problem in my D&D campaign. It's bad. It's it's a bag like this big that's probably halfway filled with dice. So I would be ready to go for that.
James Angstman wants the Knights of Ren as playable characters or as supports. That'd be kind of fun.
We haven't even seen them in much yet.
Mm-mm.
I feel like well, not to say that they haven't pulled stuff suddenly out of somewhere, but they seem to take most of their inspiration from the current TV shows, movies, kind of
Mr.
thing.
Bones is coming into the next set. They're taking their inspiration from everywhere.
That's true. That's true. There's always like one here and there, but for the most part, they seem to stick to what's popular.
Right.
Seth Yates, I'm still waiting for an event from Solo based on when Lando takes the Falcon and runs in the third act. Cut and run could be the new hyperspace jump, handicapped, of course.
Cut and run is funny.
I like that a lot.
Friedwin,
That's pretty good.
I hope to see world states so we can book our flights. Well, that's coming.
So that's actually coming, man. Raymond says more characters that haven't been printed yet, so that seems to be likely regardless.
It does. It does seem.
You guys and your sarcastic answers.
You guys are. You jokers. You.
It's okay. It's what I do too.
That's
so
right.
That's all right.
Of course. Thank you so much for squandering yet another week away here with the Chance Cube. As always, we ask if you're watching live. We appreciate follows and subscribes. If you're an Amazon Prime member, it is free, and you get our cool emote with a die. Neat. And that supports us on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification icon. There are more videos in the pipeline. I believe we started releasing some of our card dissection series. They're not for everyone. They're not super competitive. They're kind of fun. If you want to know the lore behind a card, or if you want to know, if you want some inspiration behind some deck building around cards, check those out.
Cool.
Starting with card number 1 in Convergence, and I don't know if I'll probably go sequentially. If you're listening via Apple Podcasts, please give us a review. Thanks to Kim and Mike, who's not even here, for continuing to go on this journey with me. Thanks to Matthew Scott over at the social media channel to keeping the social media alive. Thanks to all you Patreons for still being here and supporting us. And then, of course, check out the Price Watch on iOS.
And you guys, everybody in the chat and everybody listening, happy birthday to Jason this week.
Oh, that was yesterday.
Both you and Mike snuck your birthdays in on Mondays. Next year, we'll have to figure out something because they're both going to be on Tuesdays.
That presumes we're still going to be podcasting on Tuesdays.
Birthday announcement or something crazy.
Yeah,
but so yeah, if you guys get bored, send Jason a singing happy birthday message.
Head
He
over
loves
to
this.
Head over to our Facebook page. Pinned to the top is this week's question: what is your favorite support in the current standard format? Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good week.
This has been The Chance Cube, a Star Wars Destiny podcast, a non-profit organization dedicated to building community through gaming. Visit our website for all things Star Wars Destiny, including our Price Watch, Meta Tracker, and latest articles from the Chance Cube family. Find our latest videos on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit us at patreon.com/thechancecube. Your patronage allows us to grow this program and help us give back to the gaming community by sponsoring events, giveaways, and supporting our own community building initiatives. This is Mike Hill, the voice of the Chance Cube. Thanks for listening. The Chance Cube is not affiliated with Fantasy Flight Games, Lucasfilms, or the Walt Disney Company.